How's it going, everyone? Welcome in. My name is Matt. That's Dylan, and we're playing Fantasy Filmball today. We're going to be drafting a bunch of films, and Dylan, you're the game master here. So explain to us what we're going to be doing today for our draft.
New week, new draft, and we talked about Megan a little bit this week, so it's only right we draft our favorite January releases since the year 2000. We had to put a cap because they go back forever. That's just so many movies to choose from. So we wanted to make it more recent, and the big rule here, though, is no award season movies that released in wide January. It had limited releases in December. This movie had to open wide domestically, worldwide, in January of their year, so that also sadly means no Paddington, no Paddington 2.
No Paddington, no Paddington 2. And I just want to say why we're doing a January draft as well. You might be familiar with the term, fuck you, it's January,
the dumping grounds.
It's the dumping ground. This is the time of year where movie studios are like, okay, well, Oscar season is happening. Let's put out our movies that no one cares about. And that will be financial flops because we just need to put these somewhere and we'll hide them. This has not always been the case, which is why we're starting at January 2000. Because in the past, Doctor Strangelove was a January release. So we can't go that far back. We're starting with January 2000 because this is the era of fuck you, it's January. Bad movies in January almost exclusively, except for hopefully the ones that we draft today. But yes,
Maybe.
Dylan said, no Paddington. There's no Paddington here. But I think this might be interesting because I think we might have to contest a few of these. We might end up dueling over some of these a little bit.
Well, I made a list. I went back on, I think it was thenumbers.com, and looked at every January since the year 2000, and I pulled a list here ranging from, I think I have 15 movies here. I don't have a number one pick. I don't think anything here is worth the first overall pick. And
I do. I do. I think there's two movies that are worth the number one.
We'll see. Maybe I just completely missed over whatever movie you're talking about and I don't have it on my list, or maybe you're just a lot higher on a movie here that I'm not as high on. Regardless, though, my streak of L's continues. Matt won last week, so he has the first pick. So he gets to pick that movie he thinks is worth first overall.
I told you that The Little Mermaid was a bad choice, Dylan. I told you.
I underrated the love for Miyazaki. That's all it was.
I know.
It was a trump card.
Miyazaki was a trump card. Dune was a trump card. There's a lot of trump cards there. Okay, I'm torn between two, and I know if I don't pick one of them, you'll pick it, but I'm worried. I don't know that you'll pick the other one if I don't pick it, but I'm worried that you will, and I want this because I think it's one of the best ones on the list. So, okay, I'm going to go with the one that I like more. I'll leave the one that I know you like more to you. So I'm going to start off with Cloverfield.
Okay, that was my number 5. Okay.
Really? Cloverfield? Okay, I could have waited then. I totally could have waited.
But why Cloverfield?
Why Cloverfield? Okay, Cloverfield, not only is this probably the best reviewed film of all of these to be released, it's also the one that has had the longest lasting legacy. It's one that when I saw it on a list of January movies, I was like, Jesus, that was a January movie? That doesn't feel like a January movie to me. This is a movie that it made it all the way to the Oscars, I believe, for sound or something. But it's a film that has changed how we view monster movies. It has changed how we view found footage movies. It's something that has had a lasting impact on sci-fi and probably will always have a lasting impact on sci-fi. It's also a film that revolutionized movie marketing. This is a movie that the way that they marketed this film is they played an elaborate alternate reality game where no one knew what Cloverfield was, but they were dropping clues all over the internet and you had to search for them. So that marketing technique has never fully been replicated, but they've tried. And that's a really interesting thing. But not just that, this is also one of my favorite movies on the list. I think it has an emotional core that really works. I think that the monster is absolutely terrifying. It utilizes the monster in a really, really strong way. And like I said, this is the film with the largest legacy.
Okay, good pick. I like your reasons there. I think I was just a little biased because I haven't seen Cloverfield. So
you haven't? Oh, dude, watch it. It's really good. It's really good. If you can stand the shaky cam, it's really good.
Okay, so first pick here. I have no clue what to take. However, January's known for dumping grounds for horror movies. The first week of the year, we always get one. And this movie could be considered a horror to some, could be considered a comedy to others, and could be considered the best movie by this director since before I was born. So I'm going with M. Night Shyamalan's Split from 2017.
I fucking knew that was the other one. I was like, I know you're gonna pick this, and I was thinking of doing it because I was like, okay, if Dylan will get it second, if not. But explain what's your reasoning behind Split here.
Personally, I think this is Shyamalan's best movie. I think it exuberates all of Shyamalan's qualities to the best level. Like, yeah, you can maybe make the case Sixth Sense is the better overall movie, but this is the best Shyamalan movie. It has some very great horror sequences. It has great, phenomenal acting performances from James McAvoy, from Anya Taylor-Joy, and some others. This is one that I feel like, regardless of your thoughts on this genre, you've seen this, you've liked it. This is a movie that I don't think many people disliked. And it's one I feel like has stood the test of time. Like, this is one a lot of people were clamoring for some awards attention almost a year after its release for James McAvoy, for its screenplay. And it's one that I feel like once Shyamalan finishes his career, people will be like, yeah, that's one of his best. And I feel like this will be up there for one of the most iconic horror comedy movies of the 2010s.
Yeah, looking back now, I'm like, damn, I should have taken that first and then got Cloverfield later, but I kind of expected Cloverfield to be your number 2 or number 3, which is why I was nervous for it.
Yeah, you just didn't know I hadn't seen Cloverfield, so that's
I didn't know.
So the movie I want to pick here, I shouldn't pick here, so I'm not going to. I can wait on it. And I don't want to double up of horror movies off the bat, because I feel there's so many of them here. January, as we said, dumping ground. There's a lot. However, there's only one action movie here that became an icon. It spurred many sequels that aren't very good, but the original one, it is good because it brought us so many iconic sequences or lines. But this is Liam Neeson, this is Taken, this is 2009.
I haven't seen this one, so good pick.
It's a very good movie.
I haven't seen it.
Exactly. So we each have one where we probably could have waited because the other one hadn't seen it, but this one I think is very good. It's got an icon status to it, and I feel like this is, when you talk about January movies, this is what studios try to replicate. Releasing a movie you're not as confident in, but then it becomes a big hit. Therefore, then its subsequent sequels can come out during the summer, which is still crazy to think that Taken became a huge franchise and reinvigorated Liam Neeson's career.
Yeah, because it was like kind of like an indie action that no one expected to do well. I really want to see it. I just haven't seen it yet, but
well, I'll watch Cloverfield and you can watch Taken.
Exactly. Okay, for my next pick here, I think you might contest this, but I have this to back it up. Okay. So I'm going to pick one. It is a film that came out a couple of years ago. It has a different release date on IMDb from what it was actually released in theaters worldwide, UK and US, despite being a UK film. This is a film with style, with great outfits, a lot of great action. We got Colin Farrell in this one, and this is Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman, which
I'll allow it.
I'm going to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of this film, but I do love Guy Ritchie. And this is one that it became like an icon when it was released in January of that year. It was a huge hit. And like ultimately, I don't know. I think it's a really fun crime thriller that a lot of people really resonate with.
I really liked it as well. I'll allow it because I would have not taken it so far. So therefore, it's cool. But I don't think it's the best movie to come out in January of 2021 or 2021. So or 2020.
2020.
It's already been that long.
Yeah.
Regardless, this was not the best movie to come out of January of 2020. We'll see if I draft the other one. But yeah, Gentlemen, very good.
I'm not sure which one you're talking about there, but this would be the one that I'd think of as like the January movie of that year. And then after that, I'm going to pick one that I think you might have on your radar here, but I'm actually going to say this is it's an animated film, and if I'm looking at this franchise, this is my unpopular opinion, but this is the best film in this franchise. It is, I think, the funniest film in this like little series of DreamWorks animated movies because I'm taking Kung Fu Panda 3.
Good one.
It is a great action movie, great comedy. All together, this just does everything that I wanted a Kung Fu Panda movie to do that I don't think that the first or second one really delivered on, but this one did.
Great pick. I was thinking about that at my number 2. I thought I could wait a little bit, but alas,
I knew
can't.
you'd pick it if I didn't pick it right now.
Yeah.
There's other movies I would have liked to take above it, but I felt like you would take it above me.
So I'm going to. I didn't really want to do this, but looking at what's left, I kind of have to take this just because it's, I think, by far the best thing left on the board. So I'm doubling up with my horror comedies, and I don't have to go far for this one. I just have to go to last year, and that is Scream 2022.
Haven't
This
seen that one either.
Reinvented the franchise, gave it life, helped rise up Jenna Ortega's rising stardom. Melissa Barrera follows up. Well, I guess this preceded In the Heights, but still helped her launch into a higher star power. And it's kicked off the franchise. A lot of people would say this is the best one since the original. I would say it's the best one overall. And I'm very excited for the sequel coming out. And for some reason, they moved it from January to being coming out in March this year. I don't know how it will perform in March, but yeah, Scream 2022, I will pair with my Split, with my Taken. And I have 2 horror comedies. Should I go with 2 Liam Neeson movies? I think so. Give me The Gray.
Nice. I don't like The Gray, so I wasn't gonna pick it, but that was a good pick because a lot of people love that movie.
I have a friend who I took a film class with in college, and he says that The Gray is the best movie of all time. Do I agree with that? No, but I applaud him for his boldness. The Gray is a great movie. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites, but we're talking about January here. You don't really get many 9s or 10s. I think the best movie on this list so far is Split, and that's like a solid 8. But you don't really get a lot of great movies in January, but this one did something different. It is inventive. It has a great Liam Neeson performance, and I mean, it's got a wolf. You talk about Idris Elba fighting a lion. You talk about Adam Driver about to fight dinosaurs. None of those movies would exist if Liam Neeson didn't fight that wolf.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense. Now, okay, for my next one, you just said that there weren't a lot of like 9s or 10s that came out in January ever.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with the only 10 out of 10 I would give to a January movie right here. I don't think you would have seen this film because ultimately it released like 12 years ago, 13 years ago now, to not a whole lot of fanfare. I think that this is a vastly underappreciated film. I think that it has a fantastic Denzel Washington performance. Yep. I think that it is the best Fallout movie that we will ever get. It is a fantastic post-apocalyptic action drama, great fights, fantastic visuals, incredible world building, and a really good twist at the end. This is one of my favorite action movies, The Book of Eli. Have you seen this one?
I have, and it would have been on my list earlier. However, I didn't really want to pair Book of Eli with Taken, and I felt like for the memes, I should double up on Liam Neeson. But it's a great one. I love it.
I was like, okay, I don't think he's going to pick it. I would have been so upset if you picked it because I absolutely love this movie. It's like it's one of my favorite sci-fi action movies of the 2010s, just in general. So I'm really happy to have snagged it here.
All right, final pick. For my final pick, there's some ones that I feel like I could pick that, there's some films that I'm like, oh, this is a guilty pleasure that I feel like is known, but some people might like it, some people might not. Like there's a specific animated movie that I have such nostalgic memories of, but it's a piece of shit, and I'm not going to pick it. So instead, I'm going to go with one that is a legitimately good movie, a legitimately fantastic kids action movie, a British film from director Joe Cornish, The Kid Who Would Be King. This is an Arthurian legend about a kid who finds the sword and the stone and ends up taking on all the powers of evil. It was heavily, heavily underappreciated when it came out, and I saw it in theaters too. It's
honestly one that I think deserved better than a January dumping ground release date. But ultimately it flopped, so I guess they knew that it would flop. But it's a film that is really good. It's very fun, very funny, has some great special effects, and ultimately it is a highly underappreciated family action-adventure movie that will still hold up and always hold up.
All right. Honorable mentions here that I'm not taking. You mentioned cringe. We got The Tooth Fairy with The Rock, 2010. This shows you how deep the January offerings go if Tooth Fairy is in my honorable mentions list. You got, speaking of camp, which January sometimes can give us, you have the Matthew McConaughey Serenity. It's a movie
Christ.
I would love to pick for the boldness of the take, but I would like to win again, and that movie would not help me win, even though that is probably the most interesting January theater experience I've ever had for a new release. I had to give a quick shout out to Escape Room 2019 for introducing the world to Taylor Russell, and then you have the last honorable mention being the better 2020 January release, and that is Bad Boys for Life.
I disagree. I disagree that that's the better one.
But my final pick takes us all the way back to 2005. No one's taken a sports movie yet, so I got to. Coach Carter is my pick.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
Wow, you haven't seen Coach Carter? That is
I have not even heard of this movie.
Really?
What's it about? What sport is this?
Never
Is it a
heard of
football
Coach
movie?
Carter. It is a basketball movie starring the one, the only Samuel L. Jackson, and a very young, one of his first performances ever, Channing Tatum.
Really? Okay. I feel like I've heard the name, but I don't know a damn thing about this movie.
It is a beloved movie. I'm looking right now on Google, and it has a 4.8 from Google reviews. If that doesn't say anything about how strong and how good this movie is, that says it. But yes.
Let me pull this up on Letterboxd right now.
Yes, Coach Carter, great sports drama. My actual fifth pick, I think, would be cheating because it's technically not out yet. But Missing, which comes out in a week, would be my first overall pick if eligible. But I feel that would be cheating because no one has seen this movie yet. But it is, I think, the best January movie eligible in this time length parameters.
Yeah. Okay. So I just added Coach Carter to my watch list, and ultimately I think it's a good choice not to pick Missing because although it might be your favorite, no one else has seen it at this point, so you wouldn't get a lot of votes based on that. I want to give my shout out here. The one that I was talking about, the cringy animated film, is Hoodwinked.
I didn't even see that when I was going through.
What a goddamn classic.
A Hoodwink, I think, technically could be a trump card.
I don't think so because it's a piece of shit. It's awful.
It's how I feel about Cats. It's so bad that it becomes beautiful.
It's like the thing about Hoodwinked is it has so much creativity, but they gave it the budget of like
Ryan Johnson should make a Hoodwink live action.
It looks like a bowling alley, like not bowling alley commercial, but you know when you like bowl a spare. Yeah, you like bowl like a strike, and then they've got like a bowling pin, like a bowling ball that goes into like a school full of like.
They spend all the money on the cast.
Exactly. It looks awful. Like it's
The frog is icon status. I forgot his name.
The music is great. The music is great, and this I remember it being funny. It would probably be a piece of shit if I watched it now, but yeah, I was thinking about that, and then I was just like,
well,
I think my team is a little bit higher quality than Hoodwinked.
All right,
Hoodwinked
read off your higher quality team then.
Choice.
Read off your higher quality.
We'll go with that. We'll go with higher quality than Hoodwinked, but Hoodwinked, it's a nostalgic gem, nostalgic classic right there, if you will.
All right, let's hear your team then. If you're calling it this high quality, where it's too good for Hoodwinked, even though Hoodwinked
high quality
is a marvel.
Okay, here's team too good for Hoodwinked. We got Cloverfield, Matt Reeves. We got Guy Ritchie, The Gentleman. We got Kung Fu Panda 3, the best Kung Fu Panda movie, mind you. Then we got Denzel Washington in The Book of Eli, and finally Joe Cornish, Arthurian Adventure, The Kid Who Would Be King.
All right, you're listening to all these names, but I mean, I have M. Night Shyamalan's best Split. Liam Neeson's best movie that's not called Schindler's List, Taken. One of the best horror comedies of this decade so far because it's technically the only one, Scream 5.
Jenna Ortega.
Liam Neeson then punching wolves in The Gray, and we close it out with Samuel L. Jackson doing his all, and the movie that introduced us all to Channing Tatum, Coach Carter. And my team, if you got an honorary team name, my team name would be Team Justice for Missing.
Honestly, I think this is a pretty balanced week. I don't think either of us has like a clear win here. So it's all up to you out there. Make sure you go and vote. We have all of this up. It's going to be on our YouTube page in the community tab, as well as on Twitter. Check out our list of films. Vote which one do you think is better. And it's obviously going to be Team Too High Quality for Hoodwinked. So
Boo.
But thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. Let us know who has the best team of January movies overall. My name is Matt.
And my name is Dyl, and this is Fantasy Filmball.